Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we're going to dive into something that is, no joke, one of the most important parts of your professional toolkit. We're talking about anatomy. And I know, the word itself might make you think of boring science class and dusty textbooks. But I promise you, this is different. This isn't about memorizing a bunch of charts just to pass a test. It's about deeply understanding the actual canvas you get to work on every single day. And trust me, getting this down, it's what separates someone who just does nails from a true, sought-after professional. So, if you're ready to seriously level up your game, let's jump right in.
You know, this quote, it really gets to the heart of what we do, doesn't it? It is such an honor. Because we're not just painting nails or applying acrylics. We are giving someone a moment of well-being, a moment of care in their busy day. When a client sits down and puts their hands in yours, that is a profound act of trust. And that right there is what elevates our work from just a job to a true profession.
Okay, so let's get right to it. Your professional foundation. You might be asking, why does all this science stuff really matter to me? And the answer is simple, but it's powerful. This knowledge is the bedrock of your entire career. It's what turns a hobbyist into a licensed professional people trust. So let's break this down into why you really need to know this stuff. First, performing safe and effective services. I mean, that's non-negotiable, right? But it goes deeper. It's about being able to look at a client's hands and recognize what's normal and, well, what might not be. It's about having a real scientific basis for the work you do so you can explain why you're doing what you're doing. And all of that, it builds incredible client trust and that professional honor we were just talking about. It makes you the expert in the room.
All right, so before we go any further, let's get a few key definitions down so we're all on the same page. First up, anatomy. The easiest way to think about this is like it's the body's map. It tells you what all the structures are and where they're located. Super straightforward.
Okay, so if anatomy is the map, then physiology is the instruction manual for that map. It's the study of how all those structures actually work. What do they do? How do they function? It's the how to anatomy's what.
And finally, let's talk about histology. You might hear this called microscopic anatomy. So, sticking with our map analogy, this is like zooming way in, all the way to the microscopic level. It's the study of the tiny, tiny structures that make up our tissue, the real nitty-gritty details.
Okay, awesome. Now that we have our vocabulary set, we can get into the really cool stuff. We're going to start with the blueprint, the literal framework of the areas you work on every day, the bones and muscles.
First, let's talk about the skeletal system, and I really want you to think about this differently. This isn't just a boring list of bones you have to memorize for an exam. No way. This is your canvas. It is the literal structure that you build your art upon.
So just look at this for a second. We've got the humerus up in the upper arm, coming down to the ulna and radius in the forearm. And then you get to the hand, the wrist bones, the carpus, the hand bones, the metacarpus, and then of course the phalanges. That's the bones in the fingers and thumb. These are the structures you are holding and supporting all day, every day. When you're filing a nail, you're working directly on the structure of the phalanges. It's all connected.
And this is exactly why it matters so much. Understanding this blueprint, it's the difference between just filing a nail and truly sculpting it with precision and artistry. Knowing this stuff gives you a whole new level of confidence in your work.
Okay, so if the bones are the canvas, the muscular system is the engine. These are the action parts. They're what allow you to perform every single movement, and they're also what you're directly affecting when you give that amazing hand and arm massage.
This image gives us a really good look at the main players here in the arm. You've got your flexors and extensors, and these are the guys responsible for all the movement in the wrist and hand. So when your client comes in with tense forearms, these are the muscles you're feeling. Knowing where they are and what they do, game changer for your massage technique.
Seriously, every single filing motion, every brush stroke, you're using these action muscles, and your client is feeling them during the massage. The better you understand how they work, the more you can refine your technique, making the service more effective and way more comfortable for your client.
All right, a quick pop quiz to see if you're paying attention. Which muscles separate the fingers and which ones draw them back together? Take a sec to think about it. Got it? Okay, so the abductors separate the fingers. Think of abducting, or taking away, and the adductors draw them together. You're adding them back. See? A simple little trick to help you remember for your exam.
All right, we've covered the structure and the engine. Now let's talk about the wiring and the plumbing. I'm talking about the nervous and circulatory systems. And listen up, because this is where our knowledge becomes absolutely critical for client safety and comfort.
So the nervous system.
This is the body's incredible communication network. It's sending messages back and forth constantly. Every single time you touch a client's hand, you are interacting with this complex system. Understanding it is just fundamental to providing a thoughtful, responsive, and most importantly, safe service.
And here are the three big ones you need to know for the arm and hand. You've got the ulnar, the median, and the radial nerves. The radial nerve runs along the thumb side of the arm. The ulnar is on the pinky side, and the median, well, it runs right down the middle. Next time you're given a hand massage, just picture these pathways. You're literally soothing the body's communication lines.
Okay, everybody, I need you to lean in and listen very, very carefully right now. This is a critical client safety alert. This might be one of the most important things you learn. The nail bed does not have heat receptors like the rest of our skin. What does that mean? It means when you're using an e-file, you can create a friction burn, a literal burn, and your client might not even feel it happening until the damage is already done. This is a massive responsibility, and it falls completely on you, the professional, to prevent it.
All right, let's switch gears to the circulatory system. Think of this as the body's supply and cleanup crew. It's the network that delivers all the good stuff, like oxygen and nutrients, to the cells, and then it hauls away the waste products. You want to know the secret to growing strong, healthy nails? It's good circulation, period.
This image shows you the two main arteries that are doing all that delivery work for the arms and hands, the ulnar and radial arteries. So when a client sits down and you see they have those beautiful, healthy pink nail beds, what you're actually seeing is evidence of good blood flow through these arteries. That healthy foundation is what lets you create your amazing work.
And here's a perfect example of how this knowledge makes you a better technician. A client mentions they always have cold hands. Instead of just nodding, your brain is going to go, that could be related to circulation. This understanding helps you have more intelligent conversations with your clients and even helps you recognize when a particular service might need to be adjusted or might not be appropriate. That's what being a pro is all about.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. Bones, muscles, nerves, circulation. So let's bring it all together. How does all this science actually help you master your craft every single day at the nail table?
When you really boil it down, it comes to this. It ensures client safety, which is number one. It enhances your massage technique, making your services feel incredible. It builds that unshakable professional trust with your clients. It allows you to create more artistic, more precise results. And ultimately, it's what elevates you from just a hobbyist to a respected, licensed professional.
So there you have it. You have the science. You have the blueprint. The foundation is officially laid. Now the only question left is, how will you use it to elevate your art? Go out there and build the amazing career you deserve. Thanks for joining me today.